Hey guys, so we're going to be talking about MMOs and MMORPGs. So that's multiplayer games that you play online if you don't know, but I'm pretty sure you probably know that. So I love the concept of MMOs. Unfortunately, I've never actually fallen in love with any single MMO, and I've really tried to do so. I've played everything from World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls Online. Right now, I'm trying out Age of Wushu, played Ruins of Magic, Need for Speed World, Radars, Terra as well. So I've really tried over and over and over again, really to try to get into MMORPGs and MMOs because I really like the concept of that, because I like to play games because it ultimately immerses me in another world. It's basically indulging in a fantasy world that makes me escape from the real world for that hour or half hour that I play that. So, it's a form of engagement, and so that immersion is why I do it really. So it's just immersing myself into the game and forgetting about that reality in front of me, forgetting about my problems that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, to me, I really felt that MMOs in terms of concept really should be something that I really should enjoy. However, I've struggled with that. I've really struggled with that. I mean, I've been gaming for a very long time, and I started even with online games. My first experience with an online interactive component with games was before the internet was even really that popular. Back in the days of BBSs, which meant bulletin board systems, and you'd play with other players on bulletin board systems, and you play things like Trade Wars and stuff like that. A couple other ones elude my name, but you'd play and you'd do a turn, and then someone else would do something else on the same BBS, and you compete. And I really like that concept. What was great as well was on the BBSs, there was already a level of interactivity with other users. You're posting messages and stuff like that. So it was just an extension. It was just an extension upon those relationships that we're building. However, I just found with MMOs, I didn't get that involved. Now, personally, I don't know if it's because as I've grown, more mature, there's just more pressing things in life that I really don't get addicted. I've always heard, people say, Warcraft can be really addictive and you can really actually just lose your whole sense of real life and which sounds terrible to want that type of thing. But I actually kind of want it a little bit, just the same way I felt immersed into a game like Oblivion or Skyrim or Morrowind, because it really is that total immersive experience. But even with those games, I mean, I could pull myself away, right? So I don't know if it's just that my sense of responsibility is just greater, that I don't that I really don't get pulled into things like that anymore. But I think that could have something to do with it. But really, it all comes down to is grind. It's just very grindy. I played World of Warcraft. Enjoyed it at first, but eventually just mindlessly pressing buttons and finding people that are not very social at all. Like I actually would just want to just chat with people sometimes, and people not being very social initially, and I end up losing interest. And then basically then I tried a couple other stuff like Ruins of Magic, which is like a free WoW clone. Perfect World, which is sort of a Chinese company had made that, and that was another sort of WoW clone. And eventually just didn't find myself engaged because the quest is pretty much it's dynamic. Go here and pick up that, and come back and then get experience points, which every game really is kind of that dynamic. Particularly like even if you look at Elder Scrolls, it is that dynamic, but they have a better illusion to hide that. And then when Elder Scrolls Online came, I was really hopeful. I was really thinking that this would be the answer because they had all this voice acted dialogue, and that helped a little bit. It definitely helped a little bit, and it was a little bit more real time combat. And I really liked the raids that would go on when you go into the PvP zone, and you do these big siege battles, even though I kept on getting killed. Yeah, so I really thought that was kind of a cool concept and principle. But ultimately, it also felt to the same thing. Like it just felt like a cheap version of the Elder Scrolls experience. I mean, mind you, I haven't touched it for about a year and a half. When I first got into it, the closest thing I could find in terms of immersion was playing Need for Speed World, with now they shut down, because that was just pure racing, and it felt like a racing dynamic like Need for Speed. And I would be actually competing with real players, which was kind of an interesting dynamic, right? And then basically after that, even I played Radars, which is basically a free-to-play MMO. That is actually it was a little bit more interesting because it had a little bit more real-time combat. It was more of an action game, right? So just even dueling other characters was pretty fun. I believe they've also shut that down as well. So, I took a big break from MMOs and just sort of gave up on it now. And then basically now I'm trying this Age of Wushu, which is kind of old, but it's of a martial arts theme, and I really like martial arts, so I'm going to be trying that. But part of me thinks I never will. I don't ever think I will fall in love with MMOs, and I want to. Like I said, I just really feel it's got amazing potential. Because for me to fall in love with games, it's that's what it's all about. To be able to want to talk about it. I think they have to put just a new concept altogether. Like, it seems like time after time, something else comes out and it's supposed to be a new greatest thing, and it's pretty much still the same concept as WoW. As far as what that is. In terms of having a level of interactivity with the world, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of something that's sort of offline, where you have, you play a lot offline, and then you sort of compare your notes with someone else, across world, and that way, well, I mean, some games already do have a little bit of that aspect where it's like, you're tied in with your social network and stuff like that. But maybe that's, a little bit more of a different concept, where the game is like a fully offline game, and you compare your notes with other people and what your score is, and then there is some common areas there that you can meet and interact as well, right? Maybe that's one idea, but I really don't know what the answer is. I think really this they're going to keep on trying this concept of making MMOs appealing for those who don't get into it. Probably for the next 10 years, until something great comes out. I don't know if also just I think in terms of gaming advancement, I think gaming is kind of overall in a bit of a lull. Like, since the PS4 came out, I was kind of like, I don't see a massive difference, other than the fact that frame rates have gone a little bit better, and resolution's gone better, but game is still fundamentally the same. But we have the Oculus Rift that just came out now, which is still a little pricey, but I think that could be something that changes the experience of gaming a little bit. I think maybe even playing an MMO with that sort of virtual reality world could really add a different dynamic to that, and really give it that real immersive boost. Because I mean, it's hard to argue this whole fact about grind. Like, grind is like, life is grind. Real life is grind, right? Like, you go to your job, you go into every day, and you have to do the same thing over and over and be good at it and be a specialist at it. So it's hard to argue, and like, that you can't have grind maybe in an MMO, right? Maybe it just doesn't have the dynamics to pull you together. I don't know. And maybe something like the Oculus Rift, which is a virtual reality headset, and really gets you much more pulled into that you don't feel as much of that, right? So that could be something that overall takes gaming to another level. But yeah, it's like MMOs it's been a real struggle and battle for me, because it's something that I have something I wanted to love but never been there. But if you have any suggestions, about some cool MMOs you think that For people who have struggled to get into MMOs, I'd love to hear those suggestions, but it's never been the case. I even thought about going into the old Ultima Online. And apparently that was one of the first MMOs out there, and seeing how much I'd like that. But anyways, I think for me the conclusion is I do like a bit of the online playing experience, where a lot of games have an online playing experience where you can either play something like Killzone and compete against other people, and then even try to connect with them offline and stuff like that. But the actual MMO itself, I don't know, it's kind of been a lost battle for me. But I'm still trying. I'm actually, like I said, I'm trying this Age of Wushu right now, and I'm probably going to do a review on it and see how that goes. So I'll let you know. So let me know about your good MMOs if you know of any. Cheers.
Hello, Gandu.